How long do you want to sprint for?
I'm good with our typical 30 or 45.
We'll get a 30. 30-minute sprints. Try to do 30 minutes. That will work. Hi, Tiana.
Oh.
What are you going to be reading? In spirit.
Yeah.
Have you read? This is a debut author, Blood Like Magic.
Yeah, I think this is her first. Obviously, it came out last year, but I believe this is her first book.
That's honestly why I was late starting these sprints, is because I was late on like a school assignment that was due at midnight, and I'm like, ooh, maybe if I type it real fast and have it before 12 a.m., p.m., easily confused. Easily confused.
I hate when they do the 11:59 because I'm like, that's so ambiguous. What do you mean? Sometimes. Okay, we'll see how it goes. I haven't really heard a lot about Blood Like Magic, so.
I have not at all heard anything about Blood Like Magic. I've seen the TikTok girlies post it up in their little TikTok reels or videos.
Yeah, I know the author is like, I think she's a bookstagrammer or something too. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. Or she's at least on social, like she's big on social media, I believe. Oh, and she has her own YouTube channel and stuff like that. I guess author too would be more of the term. But
okay. We can do our first sprint at 40. So in 6 minutes, I'll give everybody a chance to grab their books. Comment below what you'll be reading. I'm trying to get my little tabs open because I feel like I'm going to need them. Hi. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah. I think I have lipstick on my teeth.
Let me. That's not what I want.
Get myself together. Hi.
Hi. What are you going to be reading?
So I won't be here too long. So your girl's trying to get in some more of House of Sky and Breath. So I'm trying to read some more of that.
I finished. I wish you the best of luck. Alana also read it. So
it's a time.
Oh my goodness. Y'all, don't make me nervous. Like my brain is already like this book so much. I love this first book. Like I'm there with this. So y'all, like the emotions.
Hi, thanks for joining. We're gonna sprint in 5 minutes. So at 40. How far are you into Sky and Breath?
I'm on like page 408. So halfway. What are y'all reading?
I'm going to be reading the 1619 Project.
Oh, okay.
And I am going to give Blood Like Magic a try and see.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah.
Relationship Goals, I don't think that I've heard of this book. It's like not ringing any bells for me. The Burning God and Goliath. Goliath was an anticipated release for so many people, but I have not seen any reviews for it yet. So I hope that it's good. Well, how's your reading month been going, Valisa?
It's been rocky. I've been trying to like read the books off of my TBR game, and I've just been struggling because I just keep reading other books. But I read Jade War. I finished that. Yes.
Which did you like better, the first or the second?
I like the first one a little bit better. I feel like the second one didn't have as much action for me, and I was like, this is all good politics, but I'm gonna need some more fighting. So that was me with that one.
It is a very dense literary, so it's taken me a while to get through. Yeah, I don't know if I'm interested in reading Goliath. I have Blood Like Magic on standby audio from Libby. Well, hopefully Alana likes it, and then she can review it at her monthly wrap up.
I really haven't heard a lot about it, like in regards to people's opinions. I've seen people say they're going to read it, but that's about it. So we'll see how it goes. I don't really have a lot of
everywhere all the time, but I don't hear reviews. And also Blood and Stone, Stone and Blood, the Penelope book I see all the time.
Yeah, like I don't really have expectations going in, so I'm hoping that'll like help me either in like enjoy it more. But we'll see. Just kind of going with it.
Alrighty, 2-minute warning for our sprint. Let me get my timer set up.
How long are we sprinting?
For 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. Hopefully you can put a dent in your book. Are you reading physically or do you have audio?
I started reading along with audio because like I'm cheating because I'm like, what is happening? Getting to the bottom of the page. So audio helps me not do that.
I'm reading Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen in 7 Days in June. I'm actually going to be on Chanel's live show tomorrow because her book club was for 7 Days in June this month. And so I don't know if you'll be done, but we'll definitely be live tomorrow to talk about that book. I have feelings about it. Forgetting that you read what? You read Blood Like Magic?
Yeah, I know you read it, Tiana, but before you, I didn't know anybody else who had read it.
I didn't know you read it till
just recently just told me you read it, so
I heard Song of Blood and Stone is good, fantasy is good, but the romance is hit or miss. Okay. Ooh. Yeah. Hi, Quinn. Yeah, no. Did Tiana like it?
I think she did. Did you like it? I can't remember. I'm sorry. Going on in that conversation.
I also remember that you read it. So there's that. I read 7 Days in June last July, and I'm currently reading The Perfect Find. I've heard good things about The Perfect Find. 4 stars too. Okay. We're gonna get ready to start the sprint. I'm gonna share my screen. And Welcome back. That was the end of our sprint. Alana had to go pick up her car, so she'll be back later. How was your sprint, Felisa?
Okay, I can hear you now. Sorry.
How's your book?
It is so good. I'm loving this so much. But like, listen, I'm reading this with like rose-colored glasses. She can do no wrong in this book at all.
Well, I don't even remember what happened halfway through the book, but I don't want you to say it just in case you might spoil. But I can't wait to see what you think of the ending.
Okay. I'm so nervous about the ending. Like, I'm gonna cry and I'm not ready. I just feel like
very ending is pretty epic. Hi, Steph. So you'll be screaming. Hi, Chanel. I was just mentioning that we're going to be live on your channel tomorrow to talk about 7 days in June. Are you almost done? Just finished In His Possession. And I was here and took the with Jody Slaughter. You know what? 7 Days in June was a very interesting book. I actually vlogged my reading experience of it, and I did enjoy the book. But all of the hype that the book got led me to believe that it was a great representation of Black love and like the Black love experience. And then when I started reading this, I was like, I have questions.
Ooh.
I have questions for people who pitched that book as like the Black love experience, because I'm Black and married to a Black man. We've never done drugs together, so I don't know why that is.
I was trying to keep a straight face.
The use of like drugs in that book is like pivotal to the storyline, but I was just like, these two kids are like coping with like the problems in their life by using hardcore narcotics. How does that translate to the Black experience of love? I'm confusion. I'm really confused. 26 pages. That is good. Oh, I started the 1619 project. I had a very long like introduction from the author, so it took me a while to get through that. But now I'm in like the bulk of the book. So very interested to see how it's gonna go, because I know that this book caused like a lot of discourse and like polarizing arguments, but I don't exactly know what the critical race theory is or the 1619 project is. So I'm hoping to get more context as to like why people are up in arms about it. Get a Life, Chloe Brown.
Yes. I stand for that whole series.
I cannot wait to see what you think at the end. You need to text me as soon as you finish. I need live reactions. 7 Days in June. I hope that all of you guys that are reading this is going to join us tomorrow as I dismantle the hierarchy. The Perfect Fine. 7 Days in June. I really need to go back to the TikTok girlies and figure out the parallels. The parallel. It's a great story about like two teenagers that are growing up in like, or just two people that are escaping their life and like using each other as a crutch. It's a great depiction of codependency, especially when you have drugs in the mix. And it tells it from a diverse standpoint, because these aren't two kids that are doing drugs for the sake of popularity, just to be cool, just to hang out at parties. They're literally using this as a coping mechanism. And so to see that from a diverse standpoint, it's a representative book. I did enjoy it. But to call that the depiction of Black love, I have questions. Relationship goal. And let me put this on my Goodreads because I'm interested. Are you gonna read 7 Days in June, Felisa?
Look, y'all got me convinced that I might need to pick this up and see what they saying about Black love. What is going
on? There is chronic pain rep, or she has like chronic migraines, almost like Get a Life. She doesn't have migraines, but like the chronic pain disorder. There's representation in 7 Days in June as well.
Okay.
I cannot forgive anyone who is pitching this as the good. I think we need to have like, I'm glad that, Chanel is So when like we're doing this on her channel, and she's Black and I'm Black. So like when I say this, I'm talking to the Black community. I'm talking to my people. We need to have a moment where we come together and really explicitly list what is a good representation of Black love. My Black and Black. It did not include drugs. It did not.
Oh my god, debunk all of that.
Yes. We're going to sprint at 20, so in 5 minutes, trying to be productive. Valisa isn't going to be with us for long, but I do want her to put a good dent into her book. 70s and Junes is not Black love, it's scary love. Yes. From a diverse standpoint. Like it is diverse, but giving that to the Black community, questions. I agree. So I still think that you should read it. It's not a bad book. I did enjoy it. I just don't like the way it's pitched. But also like in the book community, the way books are pitched is like a problem in general. I really question if we all like took that course in history, not in history, but like in high school where you learn how to like critically analyze something and like take away the author's intentions and the mood. I think we need to go back and reteach that lesson because people are missing it. I've heard great things about Rosewater. One of my friends just told me that I need to read the series because they think that I would really love it. But I think I might try it on audio. So that's the thing, right? It is Black people that is saying this, and that is my problem.
That's interesting.
It isn't how the publishers pitched it, and it isn't how like white TikTokers pitched it. I've seen Black reviewers say, "Oh, this book is Black, Blackity Black. This is us. This is," and it's like, I don't know. All three of us on live show are Black. Yeah,
that's gonna be fun. Look, I'm gonna have to save that to go back to it once I read this book.
I think the audio was like 7 hours long. 8 hours long. Okay. It's very short. Like it's literally just 7 days in June, and it's like an attempt at a second chance because you follow them when they're younger and they have like this toxic relationship, not like abusive, but like toxic in the outside world, and they use each other to cope. And then they're adults trying to kind of like make it work. I've also seen people that say that it's not necessarily a romance book. It's more like literary fiction, but I'm not really a romance girly. And so like, I don't want to get into that discourse over what's romance and what's chick lit or what, like general fiction. I have no dog in that fight. That's probably problematic to say. I have no authority to say that.
Has this author done any interviews about this book or anything, talking about it?
I'm pretty sure she has, because was it a book of the month pick? I know that it was extremely popular. I don't know if it was a book of the month pick, but like it got equivalent hype. This is probably like coonery to say, but like if that book is the Black experience, I'm gonna have to go get me a white man. I've seen explicitly Black people, which is why like I hesitate to publicly say something like that, because there's always outside people listening to take like what a Black person is saying and like flip it and use it as like, oh, well, this Black girl said this. And like, that's why I'm excited to talk about it on Chanel's channel, because it's Black women talking to Black women. And so even though it's still public, it's a, you know, one-on-one conversation. Chanel is going off. 1 minute warning before we start sprint again.
Oh, also, I'm gonna have to jump off because it's almost 3:30 here, and I have to leave my place at 3:30. Okay. Thanks for having me, though.
No problem. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
As a romance girly, I'm removing this from my Storygraph romance prompt because I don't consider it to be a romance.
Oh no!
Not cry with worry, Chanel.
Oh no.
Yes, her daughter is really, really good. I'm gonna start our timer. If we're still on, you can always join later.
Okay, bye y'all.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Enjoy reading.
All right, let me start this timer and we will be back. Welcome back, guys. That was the end of our second. We are going to take a 5-minute break, so we will be starting again at 55. For those of you who recently joined, I started the 1619 project at the beginning of these sprints, and it's been rather interesting. I'm liking it so far. Welcome. I am going to be live until 3, so another hour. I'm going to try to fit in 2 more 30-minute sprints, hopefully, before I get off. I need to crack my knuckles. Chanel, I saw you text me, and I didn't get a chance to look at it. I definitely thought that reading the 1619 project was going to be different from what it is right now. Like, still not understanding all of the arguments and like outrage around the 1619 project. I'm not really seeing anything problematic. I seriously need to read a Christina C. Jones book. Let me write that down. 26 pages again. So I am like 50 pages in, and I know it's supposed to be a collection of essays, but so far I've just seen like a poem and then a background history of like the revolution, the founding of the documents, all the way up to like the Reconstruction era and how Black people played a part in that. So it's definitely more historical context right now. I've heard really great things about Binti. I have several books by this author and I have not picked them up yet. I need to do a vlog. Hi, thanks for joining. After We Collided. Is that the same author that wrote, is that the After series, the super popular Wattpad stories? I've heard that people really love that. It's like a toxic relationship between two people. Read another 23 pages in this last chapter. Tell me what you're reading. I want to be mind blown. Getting Schooled last week. Yeah, I've heard really great things. I need to pick up those books. This was available on, is it a book of the month pick? I seen it on Libro and I downloaded it, but there's no telling when I'm going to get around to it because my unread TBR, endless. Hopefully you'll finish in the next sprint. I don't know how long the chapters of your book is, but if you do finish, super productivity. Rosewater. Okay, yes. So definitely gotta pick that up. Are you listening on audio? Because I want to try it on audio. But Major Fools. I love dystopias, especially YA dystopias. They're not as popular as they used to be in the past, but if I could go back and relive like the Hunger Games, Young Elites, Legend, that was like the height of my reading experience, is where I really fell in love with books and like was not able to put them down. Up all night reading with a little flashlight was like, I was in my YA dystopia bag. I Think I Might Love You. I think that is available on Scrib. When I was looking what books are available by Christina C. Jones on there. Look at that. Yeah, After We Collided is book 2. Yeah, The Girlies was eating, but I have not read a Wattpad story in a really long time. I think when I was a junior in high school, I wrote 2 books on Wattpad, and that is crazy to me because I can't even remember what I wrote about, but somehow I managed to write 2 books. And the last time I checked, my book 1 had like 100,000 reads, and I was like mortified because 100,000 people read whatever the hell 11th grade Monet typed into that story. And mind blown. I start a lot of projects and like I pick up new things and like learn new things, but I have a problem with, or I had a problem in the past with remaining committed and consistent. And so on like my self-reflection, getting ready to go off to college, entering into like my adulthood, I got down with myself. I'm like, you need to learn how to like stick with something until you finish it. And I did that through Wattpad. And that led to me writing 2 books. And once I finished it, I was just like, you're committed. You're a committed, devoted person. And that was the last time I probably ever finished anything besides my degrees. Book of the month. Yeah, I think it had a really pretty cover. I read book 1 of Ray Bear. I really enjoyed it. And I have not read the sequel because the cover really disappointed me, but I've heard really bad things about the sequel. And so I don't want to read it because me and YA lately have not been on one accord. We have not. So that's the thing. Oh, you're going to finish. I love a short novella. It has its ups and downs, but it's kind of chapter where you can sense something is coming. You're doing the physical. Okay. Maybe I'll vlog my reading experience of that. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen for the next sprint. Okay. We have 3 minutes before we start our next sprint because we're productive today, people. I think I've seen one person review this book, but I don't remember if they liked it. It's enjoyable. Definitely suffers from 2010. Do you like pop culture in your books? You have a PhD, correct? And I don't wanna falsely accuse you. Is it language? Linguistics? English? I don't know. I know you have a PhD. Because I said that is an educated Black woman, but I don't remember what it was in. Yeah, 11th grade Monet, she did her thing. And I don't want to read it. I don't want to read it. Because I believe when I was in 11th grade and 12th grade, I was still reading like the hood books, the Black hood romances with the drug dealers in New York City going to prison and a girl had, and, you know, I was in my ghetto bag. So I'm pretty sure that book is the product of that. 2-minute warning. A Diary of Blood was on everybody's top of the year last year. And I have it. I own it. I even have the audiobook. And it is so short. So it's really no explanation for why it's been sitting on my shelf for a year. But Wattpad was a great place to do that. And I don't know how it is now, but you could upload certain chapters at a time. And I had gained a following as I was writing them. So every time I would get like email notifications of people commenting, asking, Jesus Christ, I speak English, asking for the next chapter. And so that was like the driving factor in what made me stay committed is because I gained a following faster than I expected. And people were like, when is the next book coming out or the next chapter coming out? I'm like, okay, let me sit down and write this. Language, literacy, and culture. Because I'm like, language arts, linguistics, something. I like pop culture sometimes, but then other times I don't. Like, I read Slay a couple of years ago, and I don't remember exactly how I felt about it, but I think the pop culture in Slay is what like threw me off from really loving the book. Yeah, people have not been loving Redemptor, and that cover, I'll be fine. It could be a standalone in my eyes. 2010 is dated, believe it or not. When I read the Fever books last year and the main character was talking about wearing like this like velvet two-piece, and she had blonde hair and she had a little Nokia flip phone, and it was just like, this is taking me all the way back to like my Legally Blonde era days. I am eloquent. Woo! Thank you, and welcome to my channel. Reading The Night Tiger and not a book club pick. Our live is going to be next either Saturday or Sunday, and I have not started the book, but Aaron has. Either way, you know, it'll be a nerd out historic moment for us. Do I have to read any books for my master's? Yes, I do. I have to read several books for my master's. Currently, I have 5 books in each course. I also have to subscribe to the New York Times, the Washington Post, Harvard Business Law, the Diplomatic Affairs or International Affairs journal. Like I have a lot of subscriptions because I study international affairs. I have to stay up to date with what's happening in the world, and like it's a big world and a lot of shit's going on. So my brain is occupied. I love Slay. Yeah, the pop culture references in Slay, I was just like, this is a lot, but it was also YA. Din of Ray Bear. But you liked, have you read the sequel to A Song of Wraith and Ruin? Because I know you love that one. Yeah, a Nokia. A full Nokia. Not historical fiction. I think in 2010, what was I? I was at the local recreational center watching the boys and the big white tees and the huge pants do the lean with it, rock with it. It was a time to be alive. Okay? I don't even think that Chanel will get my references because in the group chat, Chanel never gets the African-American pop culture references. And so me and my Nigerian friend, we be clashing sometimes on the culture. Abroad in Italy, so I don't know if I can make it. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Okay, I'm behind on these sprints, so let me start this timer so I'm not out to be a liar. Alrighty, guys. Welcome back. That was the end of our third sprint. We're going to do one more at 40, so in 8 minutes. And I just reached 100 pages in the 1619 project. So very interesting stuff is being said in the book. It seems like just a collective, comprehensive history, I guess, of Black people in America. I think it could be used almost like a source, a text source for classrooms. But you never know what I'm talking about, Chanel. You never know what anybody's talking about. Did you ever pick up Dragonfly? I put it on my wish list on Amazon, but because of my book buying restriction, I've been like not purchasing as many books, but I did put the hold in on Libby to get the audiobook. So whichever comes in first. Yes, I am sprinting for Black History Month, paying homage to my people. It sure was. It sure was. Lil Jon and the East Side Boys. I'm a product. I'm a product. Hi, welcome. I recently read Amari and the Night Brothers at the beginning of this month, and it was really cute. I'm looking forward to reading the sequel. You are really moving. I don't know how many pages I am reading at a time because I am taking notes throughout this book and kind of annotating. So I'm not moving as fast, but I'm hoping to be done tomorrow, which is a big feat because I just started with these sprints. But have faith in me as I have faith in myself. Got through 12 pages. That is real adulting. That is real adulting because when my clothes leave the dryer and go into the basket, that is their home. That is their home. So I wish that I had the energy to hang up my clothes. 25 pages into treble. I don't know what that is. Let me see. Is it by Evelyn Lau? That's a cute cover. Thank you. Thank you. You're off work. How was work? Got another 2 chapters down. That is good. I read 15, but took a shower because it's 11:30 at night here. In Italy, I had someone trigger my little history nerd earlier this week because one of my friends made a comment about the historical significance of organized mobs and mafias in Italy. And I'm like, that is a huge gap in my history. I don't know as much about it. Like I know about Italian mafias, but only from like the US standpoint in like New York City. But I don't know the historical significance in Italy within itself. So I'm currently looking for some nonfictions or even fictional, historical fictional books that talk about organized crime in Italy, because I've seen all the movies, the Al Capone movies, but that's about it. So that's like my next little project to enlighten myself on. I have a list of like subjects that I'm like, you know what, I don't know enough about this, so let me write it down on my little list, and if I come across a nonfiction or just a book centered around that, I try to read about it when I find it. The Emotional Lives of Black Women, so good. Is it like romance, or not like romance, but like is it about relationship dynamics with Black women? Risley Adams. Okay. 76% into the ebook, and now about to start making. What's for dinner? What are we eating? I've only had breakfast today, but it's too easy. And I think I'm gonna go to the gym when I get off of this live and then eat after the gym. But I'm probably gonna be dying. Have I read? I have not read either one. I never started A Darker Shade of Magic, but I do have it. And then I read 150 pages of City of Brass last year, but for some reason I have not gone back to it yet. It was good, but when I closed the book, it was never opened again. And that seems to happen with me a lot, where I'm like, you know what, this book is so good, I'm gonna run through it. And as soon as I close it, it never sees me again. Never sees me again. Yeah, you did. We're gonna do one more. What will you be reading if you're gonna be reading anything? I suggest an audiobook since you just got off work. I need a little steam. I tried to read. So earlier this month, if you guys are subscribed to my channel, I tried to read. I did read books with Black representation in it for Black History Month, and I was trying to find like a Black book that had steam in it, and I got one that's like extremely popular on BookTube or like in the book community. I'm not gonna say what it is because of what I'm gonna say next. There is a huge shift in like interracial romances, especially like Black authors writing interracial romances. And so I did not know, like I knew the author is Black and the person on the cover is Black. So when I picked it up, I did not know that it was interracial romance. And so that had to be X'd out of my vlog because I was trying to focus on like Black love. So if this book isn't interracial, I still have like 10 days, 8 days to read it. So I just bought, this is irrelevant to North Korea, but I am doing a vlog of books that is a little similar to this, because there's one book coming out on Tuesday about this woman's experience in Chinese internment camps, re-education camps. And then I recently bought another one about a person who is from Hong Kong, and talking about their experience with like the Chinese government trying to, you know, assimilate them back in. I just seen another popular one called The Last Boat to like Shanghai that I might add to like this vlog. So trying to be more enlightened about global affairs. Mac and cheese for my nephew, haven't decided for myself. Is it the little, my daughter, she's 4. She loved the Kraft mac and cheese, and like the inner meat is like in turmoil because I don't like those, but like they're faster to make than like me making mac and cheese from scratch. I cook a lot. I'm a cooker and I cook a lot of things from scratch. I cook almost everything from scratch because I'm dramatic like that. And I'm like grateful that I don't have to put in all the work for her to eat the mac and cheese, but like watching her eat it, I'm like, it's a affront to my ancestors. It's written by a therapist, and to me, it's like a therapy. Okay, I'm interested. I've read some nonfictions this month about Black women, like Black feminist movements. I recently read Eloquent Rage, and I really enjoyed it. It was very eloquent, actually. So like, don't think I'm in the gym, you know, putting in work. I'm in there dying, okay? Fainting. Like the mask is making it so hard for me to breathe. And so like most of the time that I'm in the gym and I'm like on the elliptical or like I'm trying to jog, I'm so focused on pacing my breathing, which 2 years ago when I was like in my fit, like prime of my life, I did boxing, and boxing is all about focusing on your breathing and pacing yourself when you're going through your rounds in the ring. And my boxing instructor would make me run up and down stairs 100 times and then do 250 squats. And then I had to run around a building, and then I got in the ring with him. So I was essentially dying. And so I'm not in the worst shape now, but like breathing around the mask is reminding me of like my breathing training exercises from when I used to box, but not as fun, because after he made me do all of that, I was filled with so much anger that I wanted to punch something, but now I don't get to punch anything. I'm so glad. I am so glad. We're going to sprint at 45. So in 4 more minutes. No, I haven't, but I'm a sucker for cute covers. That's how you get my money. Everyone seems to love it. I think I'm really going to like it if I can just get around to picking it up. Yeah, I don't do extremely heavy books. Last year, was it last year or the year before last year? I did a month of reading all Indigenous literature, which was extremely trauma-filled, and it broke my brain. And I went into like a 2-month slump after that. So now I be steering clear of the trauma, especially Black trauma. I will not be reading no 12 Years a Slave, not me. Jodie Slaughter. Let me write that down because I need it. I want to see some Black love. Restore Me. Even better. Even better. JL Seekers. Y'all coming through with the Rex. I really appreciate y'all. Has mention of COVID, but not too much to make it unenjoyable. Hi, thanks for joining us. Restore Me? Good, good. I don't venture too much into the romance part of BookTube. I only have like 1 or 2 people who I watch that like read majority romance, but not too many that read like Black on Black love. I need to find some book reviewers who do that. He has a special diet, so it's gluten-free noodles with homemade non-dairy sauce. A friend of mine, her daughter has several complications, and so her doctor recently gave her a whole new dietary restriction in which she can essentially eat nothing. And so we've been kind of working collectively to try to find ways that we can accommodate like her food requirements, because like the list of things she can't eat was like 6 pages long. And I'm like, they could have just told us what she can eat at this point. Thank you for the heart. 2 minutes before our last sprint. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Even during this month, I've been reading a lot of Black literature, but I cannot do the heaviness. And like Toni Morrison's birthday was yesterday, and I would like to read more of her books. I'm never in the emotional or mental state for such heavy reads. I also thought about Octavia E. Butler, but just my mind is not there. But I did read Recitative, and that is not heavy trauma filled. It's only 20 pages long, and I enjoyed that one as much. Like I want to read from like these all held Black authors. It's just the emotional expense. I don't have it to spend right now, unfortunately, but I do want to read a classic Toni Morrison and Octavia E. Butler. It's just something about the synopsis that I'm like, do I want to read about a woman going back to slavery times on a plantation? No, I don't think that I do. I don't think that I do. I've heard like a few people complain about the representation in the series, but that's essentially it. That's a really popular one too. Yeah, yes. All about Black joy. Books that I've read recently that were heavy on Black trauma, I found myself not liking them. And I had to stop myself from rating them because I know that the reason that I don't like them is my own personal feelings. And so like Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds is one as well. Like Jason Reynolds is extremely loved, and Long Way Down is like an extremely popular book. But when I read it, I was just like, somebody please tell Black men it's okay to cry. I beg of thee. I beg of thee, let that Black boy cry. We will all be better for it. We will all be better for it. So I might launch into a whole like ballistic rage if I ever see toxic masculinity in person, and like somebody tells a Black boy to man up or like be tough or not cry. I might haul off and slap the shit out of them. You know, it's ruining our families. It's ruining our communities. I will not stand for it no more. Let them Black boys cry. I need to put that on a t-shirt. Yeah, I've heard that. The Bluest Eye, the Solomon book, Beloved. I did. I went straight into grad school. So like I have my cosmetology license, and it took me a little over a year to get. And I think I graduated with my cosmetology license in like the beginning of July, and I started my undergrad like in August. I went right into it. And then I finished my undergrad last November, and I started my grad program in January. I have no patience. When I am in control of my life, the ball is constantly rolling, like it's going. Okay. I'm not waiting unless I am forced to wait. And it's a problem. Me and my therapist, we're going to work through it. We're going to work through it. Yeah. Yeah. I'm interested in reading Goliath, but I've seen it compared to Black Leopard, Red Wolf one time. And that's a book that, like, not for me. So I'm a little skeptical on, like, if I want to pick it up or not. Listen. After reading Long Way Down, This Is My America, the Black Kids made me very angry. Very angry. And then, like, I seen that a lot of the complaints that I had and, like, other people had about the Black Kids, the main character in the Black Kids, was the author purposely wanted her to be hated. And that's a questionable decision, because why make a YA Black book for YA Black readers with a YA Black girl that we're not supposed to like? It's giving coonery. I hope that you get to it before me and you enjoy it. I have read The Death of Vivek OJ, and I have read Dear Sintaran, but I have not read Pet or Freshwater. They have 4 books, I think. I have not read Freshwater or Pet, but I did pre-order You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty, so I will be reading that one. I think that they are an exceptional writer, but I don't always agree with the message, I guess. But I definitely think they're extremely talented. What are you gonna rate it? Please. We will all be better in the future if you let them cry. Yeah. So that was my feelings when I read Long Way Down, because this is about a boy who his brother was recently shot and killed, and he is determined to go and get revenge. And so he gets on this elevator from his apartment, and he's going down to, like, do the murdering. And it happens in, I think, 12 seconds or 30 seconds, but each floor he comes in contact with someone who has been a victim of gun violence and has died. And they're trying to convince him that taking revenge on behalf of his brother is just going to create a cycle, because someone died and someone got revenge, and then his brother got revenge, and then he died, and now it's just a full circle. And the whole time he's going through these floors on this elevator, I'm just like, you're so young. I think he's like under 15, 16. He's probably like 13 or 14. But it's like, you just watched your brother cry. I have not seen him. It is a long way down. We're going down different levels, at least like 12 levels. I have not seen him cry. And I think that, if this author just lets him cry, you wouldn't have to bring all these people back from the dead to tell him that gun violence is the answer. Just let him cry. Thank you. Yes. Because I am licensed in it, and it would be crazy, right, to have a license in cosmetology and not know how to do my hair and my nails. But I'm also like a walking billboard, so I get clientele. It's a horror by a Black woman. Is it about a circus? Berserk. I know I missed the sprint. I'm gonna start it as soon as I get through the last comment. Okay, good. Because I read 20 pages of Black Leopard, and I hate to do it. I hate to be the Black woman to say this, but what the fuck was that book about? I don't know what happened in those 20 pages. I just know that it was violent and gory and, like, grotesque against women. And I was just like, and read My Soul to Keep, another great horror. I really appreciate all the recommendations. Thank you. Have not heard of this one before. Yeah, feel free. You're so welcome. Thank you for joining me. Chanel. During Black History Month? I'm going to cancel you. I'm just playing. But you will need to explain why you feel like 2 stars is generous. Are you giving it 2 stars because of the way that it was like promoted doesn't match the book, or it's the quality of the book? Let me know. Inquiring minds want to know. I'm starting this timer. And we're going. See you guys in 30 minutes, and then we're going to chat for a bit before I hop off. that was the end of our last sprint. I want to make a note in my book, so let me just write this really quickly before I forget. Okay. First, I want to say thank you guys for joining me for sprints today. I had a lot of fun chatting with you guys. I definitely plan to. I will be live next week on my channel for our Not a Book Club pick, but this upcoming week is my last week for my current classes, and then I have a 2-week break before I start my next session. So I will be going live during that 2-week break because I want to do so much reading. Grad school has taken up a lot of like my free reading time. Now, like I am interested in the books that I'm reading, so it's not like too much of a chore, but yeah, definitely gonna cancel you. How is it either a 2-star or a 4-star? That's a big jump. The book is quite literally called 7 Days in June, and it quite literally takes place over 7 days in June. So, you know, I have only seen one bigger booktuber like that series, and I think that the covers are really pretty, but everyone else seems to hate it, and I don't know why. Free yourself from that book. Yeah, thank you for joining me. You are so welcome. I'm very, very glad to hear it. I feel like I need to do a collective video of some of my favorite nonfictions because I don't always talk about them on my channel, but I do have some nonfiction books that definitely enlightened my noggin that I need to talk about on my channel. Thank you. Thank you. For my program, at the end of next month, I'm actually traveling to DC because the school that I attend has a building like near Capitol Hill, and a lot of my professors actually like work on Capitol Hill. So it's a collective or like comprehensive program. So I'm excited for my trip to DC, although I think it's going to be very informational. It's a standalone novel from 1930 Malaysia. You know, one of my cohorts in my program just told me, 2 weeks ago, that Malaysia still has a royal government, like there's still a king and queen of Malaysia. I had no clue. That just goes to show you that, you know, things happen in the world and you can never know everything, because they were talking and they said it like it was the most obvious thing in the world. And I was just like, there's still a king and queen of Malaysia? I did not know that. Later on in the stream, there will be spoilers because it's kind of hard to talk about a nonfiction book without talking about what it contains. So if anything, like, I don't think it'll like ruin you for the nonfiction book, but I'm pretty sure we'll discover or talk about facts that may make you more interested in reading it. It seems rather short. I don't have a oh no, I'm thinking about the wrong book. Sorry. You're talking about 7 Days in June. I am not sure because it is Chanel's book club or her channel, but she usually like has a non-spoilery discussion and then she'll go into spoilers halfway through the live show, but she'll let you know when you're entering into the spoilery section so that you can leave if you're not finished with the book. Sorry, my brain is everywhere. Forgive me. What is 240 pages? The Night Tiger? I like following the characters in the Night Tiger and the trip, but don't remember much of it. I don't exactly know why people dislike the series. I was talking about a live show that's going to be on my channel next weekend with Aaron from Booked and Busy. We'll be reading a nonfiction or talking about a nonfiction book that we read this month called Blood and Iron. It's about the rise and fall of the German Empire. It's rather short and it's a new release. So yeah. It seems really short. I got the audio, I think, on Libby, but the physical copy I've seen in the store is rather short. But what am I trying to say? Because it's about the rise and the fall of the German Empire, it's essentially before Hitler. So it's not actually going to cover like the Nazi regime and World War II. It's mostly like World War I, I believe. I could be wrong. Thank you for joining. Incest. You know what? There's a lot of really popular YA series that contain incest. And it's a choice. It's a decision. Because I always hear that about Cassandra Clare's books. And I have not read anything from her except Chain of Gold. But I was not impressed. I was not impressed. I did not understand the hype. But she has a huge fan base. And I know that like her most popular series is between the Dark Artifices and the Mortal Instruments. And I think one of those contains incest. One is like a love triangle, and one of them contains incest. But I didn't fall in love with the Cassie Clare book that I read. So I don't think that I'll ever be reading anything else from her. But lately, YA hasn't been hitting for me. And I also tried to read the newest YA. It's a contemporary YA called The Required Reading for the Disenfranchised Freshman. Promptly DNF and got my money back. But it is a new release Black book. If you guys want to read a Black book by a debut Black author with a Black main character, that is out there. I won't be reading it. I DNF'd it, but you should try it on your own. There's quite a bit of YA that contains incest. Unfortunately, you did. We're getting ready to hop off in like 3 more minutes. I'm going to end this at exact 3 hours. We've been on for quite a bit. Of course. My daughters, listen. My daughters don't give a what I got going on. Don't care at all. 2 weeks ago, my 4-year-old, she's like, I want to be like you. I want to be a mommy like you. And I feel like she has slapped me because, first of all, I am more than just your mother, okay? Like, I guess it was supposed to be like a sweet thing, but I was just like, you think I'm just your mother? I'm out here being a bad bitch every day. So, very interesting. I'm like, I also bake. You don't want to be a baker? I also do hair and makeup and nails. You don't do that? You just want to be a mother? The feminist in me. I am going to read Gallant. I did pre-order it. I'm taking a chance on it, though. We like the girls separate from those two together. The required reading for the disenfranchised freshman. It is about this girl who, I'm gonna try to say this as objectively as I can. It's a Black girl who does really well in school. She wants to go to her local HBCU, but her mother will not let her because she feels like the PWI will give her more opportunities. As soon as she gets to this PWI, which she doesn't necessarily want to go to, she is confronted with a lot of racially insensitive statements that her classmates make towards her. And there is a statue of the first Black president at the campus, and it is defaced, and she's very upset about it, and she has to become a social justice warrior to get the school to do something about the person who defaced the statue of this Black student body president. That is essentially the premise of the book. Yeah, the nerve of her. I'm like, I am not just your mother, okay? I do YouTube. I'm a book reader. I do a lot of things. Not right now, no. I left my job because it was not serving me, was not bringing joy to my life. I am a military spouse, which is something I don't always mention on my channel. So, yeah, I don't live a civilian life. You know what? You should still read it. The way that the book was written, I cannot get behind that at all. I couldn't get behind that at all. There was like as soon as she got to first of all, her mom constantly saying like, you won't have opportunities if you go to an HBCU, you have to go to a PWI. Like, she wasn't listening to her. And our main character wants to stay in touch with the hood, and she wants to stay in touch with like her culture, so much so that like she is already like against going to this PWI because she wants to be with her friends, because I guess being in like the Black environment is how you stay connected to the Black environment. But as soon as she, like, every person she meets on this campus says something racist towards her, and then they laugh it off. And I'm like, it's 2021. There's no way that they're going to be that racially insensitive. And then her first day on campus, we haven't even gone to a class yet. We've only been to her dorm room. Immediately, she has to become a social justice warrior. Like, immediately, she becomes the Martin Luther King on campus. And I just don't support that narrative. I don't support that narrative. I will never be able to get behind it. No problem. Again, thank you guys for joining me. I will see you guys next time. I'm going to hop off, try to make it to the gym, and not faint. You guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and I'll see you next time.